We're speaking in the hours leading up to the first game back in the EFL. How does it feel?
Oh, it's great, isn't it? We're you know, as a football club, I think we're just delighted to be back in the EFL. You know, to be part of the Sky package on the first day of the season is amazing. It's great for everyone at the club, the supporters, great for Swindon. You know, their fans, they've sold out for the game tonight, which is great credit to them. Because I think everyone starts the season with such optimism, so we're no different than everyone else.
And as we speak, over 9,000 tickets already sold, so heading towards a sellout, which is absolutely tremendous.
Again, Nick, I think from my previous time at the club, the supporters certainly grew. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, our numbers have swelled. You know, we've got more younger people coming in. You know, the trust, the community side of the club does amazingly well. You know, attracting them in. You know, there's so much going on within the club for the match day events, the match day feel now. You know, and it's just more than the 90 minutes on the pitch. So, you know, we have to play our part as the football side of it, if you like, that our entertainment's good. You know, but it's just great to see so many Chesterfield fans. You know, I've been back over 2 years now. You know, the support home and away is fantastic. And, you know, again, we're going to need it all the time. I keep saying about support today, and I watch so much football, and sometimes I think a lot of fans have forgot what being a fan is. The good days take care of themselves. It's easy. It's the bad days when we need you, and we'll have a few of them this year without a shadow of a doubt.
And we're sat at the front of the Motan Colourtronics stand, otherwise known as the COP, and this will be full tonight and fantastic atmosphere generating, no doubt. We've
had great atmospheres, you know, for a long period of time now. You know, the support is really fervent. It's you know, being in the National League is quite humbling for big clubs. You know, because the first thing you have to do, you have to accept you're in it. You're not too big for it. You're in it, and you're a big scout for other teams. And you know, I think if you show that humility as a club to go to some of the so-called lesser grounds and win games, because trust me, it's hard to win away from home in the Conference, then it gives you the chance of coming back up. And I think what we've done, probably by following Wrexham, Stockport, Notts County, you know, we felt it was our turn next after the Wembley defeat. You know, we felt probably on that season, Notts County were probably ahead of us, not on the day at Wembley, but certainly in terms of points tally and what they've done in the season. So last year it seemed like our time. Bromley and Barnet both pushed us very, very close all season. You know, Bromley going up, which is great credit to Andy and their club, and I'm sure all their fans are down in Bromley really excited for the new season. And we go into now as one of the so-called favourites. You know, but my experience in football, we're going into a new league and we want to do the best we can.
You've managed to make 7 signings so far since the end of last season, so what do you feel now about the state of the squad that you have?
We still need more signings, without a shadow of a doubt. We're players short. Our supporters don't need me, but you know, one of the things when I first come back to the club, I couldn't understand how we keep signing player after player after player. You know, and my sort of thing as a manager, if you sign the right player, then it solves a problem going forward. You know, we've got a good little squad in place at the minute. We've certainly brought in some younger lads, you know, Vonti, Timmy Akinola, Kane Drummond, you know, certainly bringing some youthful energy to the squad. But we certainly need some more players, that's for sure. So, you know, hopefully we can get them before the window closes. You know, if not, we'll just keep working away, knowing as a football club we're growing.
Fans always talk about players coming in, but just as important, you get the backroom team right, and you've managed to assemble a very strong backroom team.
Yeah, we've been lucky, obviously, through, you know, the Kirk brothers, you know, investment stroke, you know, taking over the club. You know, we initially come in with Kieran Dyer. You know, obviously Kieran had a little period of an illness, which he's well on the road to recovery and getting better now, which is fantastic news. Paddy Byrne overlapped for Kieran when he was out, and you know, thankfully now, and great benefit to our club, we've been able to tie both lads down, hopefully. You know, that we've now got a really strong, you know, backroom staff behind the scenes that work really well together. Obviously Danny Webb, Buki, Jordan, Ben, Gary Roberts. You know that it feels so important for the football club. We've got Dave and Jack as analysts. You know, so within that, Neil and Kieran in recruitment, we're just well set in solid foundations to be a good football club now, which is great.
And added to that as well, you look around the stadium and the improvements that have been made. We've got the new floodlights, we've got the new dugouts, we've got the side of the pitch sorted out. So fantastic to see the shape of the stadium.
Listen, I think for every coach nowadays and manager, you know, you need support. You know, people nowadays, everyone just blames the managers for everything and the coaches, and, you know, managers are just getting sacked and it's all his fault. And, you know, clubs have to grow. You know, our club now, since I come back, has grown so much off the pitch. You know, the training ground now is absolutely fantastic. 2 quality pitches to train on every single day. The stadium now, you've only got to look at the technical areas, the floodlights, the PA systems, you know, the pitch itself. You know, it's growing, we're growing as a football club. And sometimes one can outgrow the other too quickly. You know, we want to become one day a well-established League One club trying to go in the Championship. I feel that's where we sit in the football pyramid. We mightn't get there this year. It might take 2 years, it might take 3 years. But if you grow the club properly, the right things will happen. And I feel we're firmly on that base now to be the club that everyone wants us to be.
I know when you first came back here and plans were put in place, the development of the training ground, which is now the Irwin training ground, was very high on your list of priorities.
I keep reiterating the same messages. You know, coaches, managers, grass to train on, gyms to get fitness, you know, and then a playing pitch that you can be proud of. We have all 3 at Chesterfield now. You know, when I first come back, and it's not being critical of anyone, the training ground wasn't fit for purpose. The playing surface wasn't fit for purpose. Yet we want to build a really good team playing a good style of football, and hopefully one day soon sell players going forward. So there's so many building blocks that have to be put into place. And, you know, thanks certainly to Phil and Ash, who've come in and took over from our community trust, who done a great job overseeing their years at the club, which were really turbulent years for this football club. Yet there's been a common denominator through it: the fans, the community trust, the love of Chesterfield Football Club from Chesterfield people, and that should now see us be a solid club for a long time going forward.
And as we approach the first game of the season, just hours away, if you're looking further ahead, what are your hopes for the whole season?
You go into every season, you know, we want to win the league. You know, if we can't win the league, we'd love to go up automatically. If we can't go up automatically, we could go up in the playoffs. And if we can't get up in the playoffs, we'll finish as high as we can. You know, it's a fair season. It's a barometer to where we are as a club. You know, yeah, we've got good players, without a shadow of a doubt. We've got good infrastructure, we've got good support. But it's new territory. You know, there's other clubs in the division at the minute that are established clubs that know the league inside out. You know, so we'll go in, we'll be dead competitive, we'll do our best, as our supporters know, and it comes from the coaching staff and everyone in the building. We don't like losing, but if we do lose, we have to have manners. We respect other clubs, you know, but the plan is hopefully one day soon, and the sooner the better, to try and be a League One club again.
And finally, what is your message to the supporters?
As ever, you know, to Chesterfield fans, you know, you have to play your part, you know, and playing your part. You know, even, you know, last year when I remember coming off at Altrincham and we'd lost in stoppage time, and I looked at the end and some of the fans were like abusing some of our players, and I stood in the tunnel and I don't grasp it. We were 2-0 down to Hartlepool here after 3 games. And the atmosphere wasn't great in our stadium, yet we have one of the most successful seasons in the club's history. To be a supporter, it's not just the good days, it's supporting your team for that 90 minutes, that come the end of the game, you clap your players off the pitch. You can't win every football game, we can't win every league, we can't be dead successful. But if we're strong together, we'll have a really bright future.